As a product development professional, there are going to be times where you're just not motivated enough to aggressively attack the tasks you're responsible for. And you're just not being inspired by anything. At these times, you just aren't performing at your best. Now, it's normal. It's normal to feel this way from time to time. But wouldn't it be great if you could almost instantly change your state of motivation? So here's a question for you. Have you ever been laying in bed knowing it's time you need to get up, but you felt like you had no energy? You just keep laying there hoping you're going to fall back asleep. Then suddenly a thought enters your mind, like from nowhere, it just enters your mind. A thought like, the project review meeting is starting on an hour early today. It's starting at 7:30 today. And within a second, you're up out of bed, you're rushing, you're feeling totally energized. You're doing whatever you need to do. The fact that this can happen tells us that it is possible to suddenly just change your motivated state. Even if it is normal to feel a lack of motivation from time to time, that's not necessarily a good thing. When you lack motivation, you'll not be performing the actions that create value for others. And when you aren't creating value for others, those others will not be looking to pay you more, give you great opportunities, and help you with your tasks. I'm Eric Johannes, and being able to be motivated on demand is a valuable methodology I learned during my 30 plus years of product development. I wish I'd known how to instantly turn my motivation on when I started my career. This skill isn't complex like string theory is. It may seem like it's some kind of secret because you haven't heard of it before, but it's out there. It's just that nobody has taken the time before to clearly explain it to you. And that's just what I'm going to do now. Now, before I do that, please consider sharing this video with one person, just one person you think could benefit from it. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing, and it will be really valuable to them. I will now explain a methodology and an accompanying mental model that you will find insanely practical and immediately valuable. Watch to the end because I'll provide a one-page takeaway you can screenshot. First, I'm going to explain the concept of activation energy. I'm a chemical engineer, and activation energy is a chemistry term. It is the minimum energy required for a chemical reaction to take place. If you have a mixture of gasoline vapor and air in a cylinder of an internal combustion engine, nothing's going to happen. There is not enough energy in the mixture to cause a reaction. But when the spark plug creates a spark, the heat that it gives off increases the energy of a local mixture, and it reacts, i.e. burns. The point I want to make here is when you inject a small amount of energy into the system, you are able to trigger a large release of energy. The mental model I use is, if I expand a small amount of energy to build the right motivation in my mind, it will unlock a large amount of energy. The jumping out of bed story is a great example of this. Now, here is the simple 4-step methodology I call motivation on demand. 1. Recognize you have a value-creating task you are responsible for, but that you aren't feeling particularly motivated about. Call it out. State the fact to yourself. Write it down. Sometimes that really helps, I find. 2. Brainstorm all the good things that could come to you if you complete the task and thereby create some value. The more the good things are good for you, the more motivation they will be. Step 3. If you still need a bit more energy in your body, do 5 jumping jacks and then raise your hands, stretch for the sky. Do a hands-on hip kind of Superman pose. These movements will energize you just like having certain thoughts in your mind. It multiplies the initial spark. And step 4, start taking action immediately. The motivation may wane a bit until you get going, so just take advantage of it immediately. Start working, start moving, start doing, start taking action. When you recognize you're having a low motivation moment, you can use this technique to quickly get in the mood and start creating value for others. This is a much better idea than sitting around moping and doing nothing, maybe even trying to make it look like you're doing something. Now, last but not least, the mental aspect. Step 2 of the methodologies has you taking action to list good for you things. If you're low in motivation, you may find it hard to even get going to do this task, to list these things. What works for me is to stop thinking and just start brainstorming. Don't feel the lack of motivation, just start taking action. I highly suspect that after you have used this methodology a few times, you will, 1, find it easy to just start brainstorming and get going. 2, there'll probably be a handful of good for you things that work for you almost all the time. So you can just go straight to those things and feel that motivation. There you have it. Another non-technical skill that will enhance your ability to create value for others and thereby increase your compensation, your career opportunities, and your joy at work. Comment below or email me. Tell me what part of the video was most valuable to you. Do you have a question about something I said? Tell me a topic you want to see a video on. Now, go create some value for others. Get my free training entitled 8 Mindsets to Take Control of Your Career in Product Development. Go to productdevelopmentcareersecrets.com and submit your email address. This will also subscribe you to receive new videos straight to your inbox.